Have you ever tried to hold on to water?
In your hands, you mean?
Yeah, just cupped in your hand. No
Yeah.
matter how tightly you grip, it always slips away.
You can't hold it. It's impossible.
Exactly. And that feeling, that's how some of the personal accounts we dove into today describe dating when you're navigating life with borderline personality disorder.
It's a really powerful metaphor.
It is. And it brings up this really agonizing question. Why does love so often feel like it's both the cure
Yeah.
and the poison?
Well, that paradox is really at the heart of BPD. Clinically, we're looking at a condition that's defined by a profound difficulty in regulating emotions.
Okay.
And alongside that, there's this really intense sensitivity to what feels like rejection.
Even if it isn't actually rejection.
Especially then. So love, the very thing that promises connection and stability, suddenly introduces the biggest possible threat. Abandonment. And that's the core fear.
Which is so confusing because that threat then leads to this behavior that seems completely contradictory. You see someone who is terrified of being left.
Absolutely terrified.
But then moments later, they might be the one actively pushing their partner away. It's like they're testing them, almost daring them to leave.
Right. And you have to ask, why trigger the very thing you fear most? It's less about a conscious test and more about, trying to manage an unbearable level of anticipated pain.
So it's about getting ahead of the hurt.
In a way, yes. And that's really what our deep dive is about today. We want to move beyond just listing symptoms and really try to understand the storm inside. And, more importantly, what drives it.
Okay, so let's unpack that storm. A lot of the sources describe it as a storm of contradictions. 1 minute, you're just drowning in love.
Completely submerged in.
And the next, you are totally convinced your partner is about to walk out the door.
And that conviction feels like absolute fact. It's not a maybe. It's a certainty. This is largely driven by something we call dichotomous thinking.
Which is also known as splitting, right?
Exactly, splitting. It's this incredibly rapid shift between idealizing a partner, seeing them as perfect, as all good.
The savior.
The savior, precisely. And then, with almost no warning, devaluing them, flipping to a view where they are suddenly all bad.
So an enemy.
Instantly. And that constant whiplash-like shift just makes emotional stability impossible. When the partner is perfect, they're the anchor, but the second they make a mistake,
they become the threat. And that's what triggers the abandonment anxiety.
That's the trigger. And it gets compounded by another psychological concept, a lack of what we call object constancy.
That sounds complicated.
It's the inability to hold on to the positive feelings for a partner when they aren't right there in front of you. Or, and this is the crucial part, when they do something that causes even a tiny bit of distress.
Ah, okay, so that explains the spiral. A forgotten text message or being 5 minutes late isn't just a simple mistake.
It's not a mistake at all. In that moment, it becomes irrefutable proof.
Proof that they don't care.
Proof that your deepest fear was right all along. And the situation just spirals into despair. We saw this one account from a person who described it so well.
Right.
She talked about this constant worry that her special person is secretly getting tired of me. It's that hunt for confirmation of the fear that powers the emotional dysregulation.
And emotional dysregulation is really the core of it all. We know BPD is drenched in these extremes, but for anyone listening who might know the term but not the feeling, what does that actually mean?
It means the mind's volume knob for emotions is basically broken. It's stuck on 10. It's an inability to modulate the intensity or the duration of an emotional response so that it fits the situation.
So the reaction is always bigger than the trigger.
Always. And the research on this is so clear. Relationship stressors are shown to be a direct cause. It proves this isn't a choice to be dramatic.
That's so important. It's not a choice.
Not at all. A single misunderstanding can feel like the end of the world. But on the flip side, a small gesture of love that can feel like salvation.
Like you've been rescued.
Absolutely. The highs are just as high as the lows are low.
The person whose story you mentioned before, she put the frustration of it so perfectly. She said, I can get so angry or too sad in just a moment.
The speed of it is overwhelming.
Totally.
Yeah.
And she had this self-awareness about it too. She said, I hate it, but I can't help it. And that realization that you're being overwhelmed by your own internal system, that must be an incredibly heavy burden to carry.
It is. It's exhausting. But, if we only focus on the storm, on the pain, we miss half the picture. The intensity isn't just a destructive force.
It's also a source of light.
Exactly. We have to follow it toward the light.
And that's where the conversation shifts, away from the storm and toward the anchor. Because for people with BPD, love isn't just the trend for the chaos. It's also described as the one thing that can ground them.
Yes, and this is where that unique sensitivity becomes a genuine asset, a superpower almost, that same hypersensitive nervous system that causes the extreme reactions. It also allows people with BPD to feel love with this rare electric intensity. It's like having a lens that can magnify all the beauty in the world that other people might just walk right past.
So the same thing that causes the immense pain also creates this capacity for immense appreciation.
That's the balance. It's found in the depth of the feeling itself. The same person we were talking about, she had this wonderful way of seeing it.
What'd she say?
She said, I get to be a really sensitive person, so I can appreciate a lot of things in a way most people don't. And then she added, it's like I find magic in normal things.
Wow.
So the very intensity that fuels the despair also unlocks these incredible depths of connection and appreciation and joy.
Given all of that, though, that volatility, that intensity,
Mm.
the big question has to be, is a stable, long-term relationship even possible? Can you really build something lasting on that kind of foundation?
You can, absolutely. And the data we looked at really provides a powerful counter-narrative to the idea that it's all just chaos and instability.
So it's not a hopeless situation.
Far from it. One study we saw found that in about half of the couples they looked at, where one partner had BPD, both people reported feeling satisfaction and tranquility in the long term.
That is a huge finding. That really changes the narrative. It means BPD is a challenge, for sure, but it isn't, a death sentence for a relationship.
Not at all. And what's more, other research found that when people with BPD learn the right coping methods, they often develop very high-level adaptive relationship skills.
Because they're so motivated to connect.
Precisely. That intense capacity to feel makes them incredibly motivated to adapt and to build something that works once they have the tools.
So what are the tools? It seems like the big breakthrough concept is about a shift in mindset.
It is. It's when the partners stop seeing the BPD as the enemy.
And they start fighting together against it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Change the dynamic completely. It's no longer a battle against the person. It becomes a team effort against the disorder.
And when couples do that,
the relationships strengthen. They become manageable. The research pointed to a few necessities for that to happen. First, there has to be real openness. You have to be able to talk about BPD.
without judgment.
Without judgment. Second, you both have to learn to recognize the negative patterns when they start to surface. And third, and this is the big one, you have to offer each other deep, sustained empathy.
Realizing the instability isn't a personal attack.
It's a reaction, a response to a deep internal well of anxiety.
And what does that empathy look like, day to day?
I think that person's plea really framed it well. She said partners need to understand the insecurities, the jealousy, the mood changes.
And the constant need for reassurance.
Right. But also respecting that duality. She said she needs to be alone sometimes, but also feel loved and heard. It's holding both of those needs at once.
Which is complex. So if we just, take a step back and look at the whole picture, the main takeaway is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Dating with BPD it's a lot. It requires patience, a massive amount of understanding, real effort, and resilience from both people. It's not a tragedy waiting to happen.
No. It's a commitment to working together, to relentless communication, and to building a foundation of support day by day.
It's a journey that requires this immense psychological labor, really, just to find something that so many of us take for granted.
Yeah.
A sense of peace inside a loving relationship.
That's it, exactly.
The ultimate wish from the woman we've been talking about, it's so profound. Her wish wasn't for anything grand. It was just to enjoy being loved and not to question it.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoying the moment and have my mind in silent mode. And so the thought we want to leave you with is this. Just for a moment, contemplate the sheer effort it takes to do that. To silence that anxious whisper in your mind, to turn down the emotional amplifier, and to simply allow yourself to receive love without immediately starting to dismantle it.
That effort is the struggle.
And finding that silence,
Yeah.
that peace, that is the triumph.